I'm slowly making my way reading up through the remaining chapters of Hunter x Hunter that are released so far, and I'm getting there, guys. And this one I actually really liked, even though it was really simplistic, because my boy Halkenburg, okay? I guess this guy, I said Benjamin's my favorite prince, and he's really grown on me. And I do like Benjamin, but I like Benjamin as an antagonist. Halkenburg, I think, might be my favorite as far as just, I relate to this guy. I get what he's going through, or at least to an extent, as far as, like, reading a character, not in my own personal life. I don't have any siblings to kill. But if I did, I'd probably be more along the lines of a Halkenburg or a Benjamin. I don't know which way I would turn. It's a kind of a coin flip. But anyways, Halkenburg is this guy that's been trying to stop the Succession War since it started. Once he realized that he had to, you know, it was a war to kill all of the siblings until only one remained, he's wanted out this entire time. And he's been trying to get out, not to protect himself, not as a coward, not as trying to stop it as if, you know, he's so fearful and, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. No, he's like, this is wrong. We should not be doing this. Why are we killing each other? You know, this is ridiculous. So he's been trying to see his father, the king, for so long. He's been going there, but the king is, you know, off protected, obviously the most protected out of everybody. You know, he's off just kind of sitting in his throne room watching this whole Succession War shit go down. Hulkenberg's been trying to get to him to talk to him, and they won't let him in every single time he goes, and he's been very calm, very patient. Well, this time, he pulls out a fucking gun, and he's like, I'm going in there to see my father, and I will kill as many people as it takes to get there. Thankfully, he doesn't have to, but he goes in, and he's able to have a face-to-face with his father, the king. And the king is someone we haven't really seen in a while. I think last time we saw him was when he went down to that coffin place when Prince Mimose died, to put her in the coffin, and it had the 14 coffins. And I've been very, very curious about what the 14 coffins means, because that means there is a coffin for each prince, but there's supposed to be one survivor. So does that mean all of them are actually going to die and it's going to benefit the king in some way, or is one of the coffins for the king? And I think one of my subscribers, or someone that watched my videos, said that it could be a ritual to get to the Dark Continent. You know, it could be some sort of ritual like that goes hand in hand with being even able to access the Dark Continent, which is a really, really cool idea, and I like that concept. But whatever the case, the king has been distancing himself from everybody, and he's here in this room. Hulkenberg makes his way in with his gun, ready to face his father, and his father kind of gives him a little bit of a lesson about being a king and what it means to take responsibility and dealing with the good just as much as you deal with the bad, and, you know, sort of trying to make sense out of this whole Succession War thing. But the most interesting part comes next. Hulkenberg is through with his shit. He's fed up with this guy's shit, and he actually tries to kill the king. He shoots, he fires the gun, and the bullet stops right there. And I was assuming what was going to happen is we were going to see the king's Nen Beast, because remember, the king does have a Nen Beast. We've seen it before. We've seen it as soon as the Succession War started. He has this big spider-like Nen Beast that has all these like tits hanging off of it, whatever it's supposed to mean or represent. Could be something about mothering or fathering, nurturing all of these children. I don't really know. Probably some kind of symbolism in there. But regardless, the king has a Nen Beast, and I was expecting it to show the Nen Beast like grabbing and catching the bullet for the king. Togashi kind of got me with the next little bit that comes up that was related to that. But the king says something very interesting, and he says that he is part of this Succession War. Actually, let me pull up. I don't know if this is the correct translation, but he says, at this point, I'm part of the ceremony. He's part of the ceremony. Now, when I say part of the Succession War, that's kind of what I meant. Whereas, like, I'm not saying that he's necessarily part of it to where he has to be the lone survivor, although that definitely could be part of it. But he's saying that he is involved with this too. So whatever this ritual is between the 14 princes that have to kill each other off, 13 now, 12 by the end of this chapter, but I'll get there in a second. So he is part of this whole thing. So he has to be here. I'm sure he has a part to play. So whether it's, you know, putting each prince in the coffins, maybe he has something he has to be there. He has to do with the transference of power for somebody to become king. We're not really sure, but he does say that he is part of the ceremony too. So whatever is going on, he is involved with it. So he is part of what's happening. So he has to survive as well to the end is what I'm assuming. And I'm assuming it was his Nen Beast that stopped the bullet, even though we didn't see it. But anyways, when that happens, Hulkenberg is just like, fuck this shit. Alright, he tries to kill the king, doesn't work, so he turns the gun on his head, and he actually does pull the trigger. but the gun isn't actually like right up against his head. It's a little bit further away, and then we see his Nen Beast actually stops the bullet. And this one we do see, whereas we don't see the King's, and I thought we were going to. We actually do see Hulkenberg's Beast like boop, stopping the bullet. So Hulkenberg is unable to kill the King. He's unable to kill himself. He throws the gun down, and he decides there's no way out of the succession war. He can't stop it. The ritual has been started. He can't kill the King that started the ritual. He can't even kill himself. And so he has nothing left to lose. He has nothing, he's already willing to die, so he's just like, fuck it. So he just walks out of there, determined and bound to be in the succession war. And it's just a moment where you feel so bad for this dude because, like, he doesn't want this to happen. He doesn't want everybody to be killing each other. He tried to stop it. He did everything he could. He did it the proper, official way, trying to talk to his father. They wouldn't let him in. He finally had it. He went in with the gun. He tried to kill his father, end this whole shit, end this horrible, way of deciding who's going to lead their country. And it didn't work. And so now he just is part of the succession war. He reluctantly embraces his destiny, so to speak, and just decides that he is going to be part of it. And so when he walks out of here and he sees the one bodyguard of Benjamin, who, is, meant to like covertly like assassinate all these other princes one by one. He, and Hulkenberg's power, he gets, his Nen Beast comes from the unity of his group. So his bodyguards and his followers and what like that. The more that they are together all in one place, the bigger and more powerful his aura is. And there's a lot of them compared to the one bodyguard there. And he basically like sets up this Nen kind of energy arrow thing that he shoots. And it's unblockable, apparently. And it shoots into the bodyguard of Benjamin's. And I think from what I understand is that Hulkenberg loses one of his current followers. So he kind of sacrifices one of his followers, I'm guessing here. And then once the arrow hits the other person, that person then becomes the follower. So they kind of like, one exchanges for the other, essentially. So now one of Benjamin's bodyguards is now serving Hulkenberg. And if Hulkenberg just goes around shooting different bodyguards and followers, and if he gets more powerful with as many followers as he gets, Hulkenberg has a chance here to really be a front runner in this race where he wasn't really seen as before. We knew the front runners were obviously Benjamin and Sardinich, and the twins, Fugetsu and the other one, can't remember her name, but they've been kind of pushed to the forefront, and of course the baby that Kurapika is protecting. Even though baby doesn't really have a personality of its own, it's important because it's Kurapika's the one, our main character Kurapika is the one protecting it, and it's a baby, and we don't know what its Nen Beast is yet, so there's a lot of variables, so they'll become very important. But Halkenburg just kind of put himself up to the top of this race right now. So very interesting to see what's happening with that. And then it cuts to Sal Sal. And I was saying last time, because his Nen Beast got eaten by the one Predator Nen Beast, or Nen ability attack. And I thought that there was going to be some kind of twist with that. Whereas you can't really just kill a Nen Beast by having your own like Hatsu ability thing eat it, right? Well, apparently you can, because Sal Sal's dead. He's just shown he choked to death. Somebody, again, probably another bodyguard or something, or maybe he just choked himself to death or whatever, but his little groupies find him and they're like, oh no, and his face is all like, I'm assuming it's meant to be like big purple and like bloated and whatnot, so he choked. So Sal Sal's out. So now we have two princes that are officially dead, which brings us down to 12. And it's only going to get worse because we are entering the banquet, which I didn't think we would get here so soon, considering how long it's been taking the process of showing each day. But this big banquet that's supposed to happen, where all the princes are going to be present, where Melody is supposed to play her flute and something's supposed to happen there, where Sal Sal was going to make some big announcement to change the world, but now he's not going to get to. Apparently we're already here. So we're already at the banquet. And, wow, what could happen here? There's so much shit that could hit the fan here, because we got whatever Melody is going to do with the flute playing ability, however that could manipulate people in the audience to either think a certain way or see things a certain way. We're not really sure. Benjamin and Sardinich are both going to be there. Sardinich has probably figured out his Nen ability by now, considering how fast he's been learning. So perhaps he's just going to kind of unleash that on the people, on the princes, because we haven't seen him in a little bit, and that is concerning. Benjamin, of course, has a bunch of different abilities now, so he might be able to counteract that. And if Halkenburg shows up with all his groupies, holy shit, I mean, man, he just could shoot arrows fucking into everybody, winning everyone over to his side. The one prince is still locked up. The woman Camilla, she's still locked up, so she won't be there. And yeah, who else have we got left? Who am I leaving out? It's got the twins. Oh, there's two more I was leaving out. The one that has the kind of like circular coin spitting Nen Beast, and then the other one that's kind of sitting around getting stoned. Those two. Don't really know what those two are up to. Anyways, guys, let me know what you thought about this chapter down below. I really enjoyed it. Very straightforward. I liked it, and we're getting to the banquet, so super excited to see what's going with that. Like I said, all your input is very informative and helpful for helping me understand as this goes on. Love Hunter x Hunter, you guys. And only a few more chapters left, but videos will be out as I get through them. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Really do appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up, like this video. Talk to you next time.